CIOs today are challenged probably today as much as anything else with security, information security challenges. Whether it's hoping today's the day that an end user doesn't click on a link in a phishing email that winds up causing a disaster that takes the health system offline, or if it's just the daily drumbeat of bad guys pounding on the electronic front door trying to find a way in and making sure that you're keeping the organization secure. They spend a huge amount of time thinking about that and worrying about it, and that's one of the things that I know keeps most of my CIO friends up at night. All the studies that you see in information security right now say that there are not enough information security professionals, and there's not going to be enough information security professionals in the near future. So you can try to build a team, and a lot of people still do that and do it relatively successfully. I think sometimes when you're in smaller places, though, you wind up in a little bit of a jam because it's hard to find a really good person who may want to work in small town USA, when if you're an information security person, there's lots of opportunity in other places, so you kind of have your choice. So trying to figure out how you ultimately meet your needs around security, whether it's products or services, is going to be an ongoing challenge for healthcare organizations for a long time, I think. No, the kinds of traits that I'm looking for in healthcare consulting firms are the kinds of things that I think I was brought up focused on as an Air Force officer: service, integrity, and excellence. So I'm looking for organizations that can provide great service and customize that service and make it work for me, make it the thing that I really need. Integrity is just an underlying value that has to be there. I have to trust you. If I find out that you've been lying to me about something, now we turn into the situation where I can't trust anything that you're telling me about anything that you can deliver, or any kind of challenges or issues that we have. Those relationships aren't going to be perfect, and so the way that they survive over time is that you can trust each other and trust that ultimately, if there's a problem, and there will be a problem, that problem can be solved, and that you're really committed to solving that problem. And then excellence is really the sort of context of you're going to do the very best you can at everything you try to deliver. And even when you're doing a really, really good job, that's not going to be good enough, and you're going to continue to try to figure out how to do it better, faster, cheaper, safer, for patients and families ultimately. So those are the things that I look for, and those are the things I kind of value in the people I surround myself with, whether it's vendor partners or people that I hire to work with me, or standards I hold myself to. Service, integrity, and excellence. I think we've gone through a phase where the implementations are largely done, at least in the bulk volume that we had during meaningful use. And now we've moved into this phase where there will still be some conversions. People will switch from vendor A to vendor B from an electronic health record perspective. But that's not going to be the tidal wave that it's been over the last few years. So now it comes down to, how do we run this thing better? How do we make it less burdensome for clinicians who are, again, we read over and over again, are being burned out by the amount of effort it takes to input data into the EHR, to manage patients with an EHR, log in, log out, how many clicks they have every day. It's a burden for them. And ultimately, we want to try to create a situation, I think, with EHRs where we take that burden away and make it part of the work and almost invisible. The more invisible we can make a tool like the electronic health record, where it just works as part of the workflow, the better off everybody will be, including the patient, which is really where all of our energy should be focused. So that's going to take a lot of work. A lot of it is around optimization. A lot of it is working with our vendor partners and EHR partners and how those products are built and how they evolve over time. And then I think a lot of the work will be with people who aren't necessarily in the industry today. So there's a lot of startups and a lot of early stage companies who are doing a lot of really interesting, cool things that I think integrated into our workflow and into our products can make those products much better for our clinicians, who again, in turn, can make life better for patients and families. I think that I have customers who are constantly trying to figure out how to provide the best services they can to their end users for the best price. And sometimes that's not building your own staff of people to do that work. Sometimes it's taking things, elements of your business that you think are very important but can be largely standardized, and handing that off to someone who can do that work really, really well, so that you can then take your staff in a healthcare organization and put them to work on the really, really hard work that still remains at your health system. So, this idea of trying to figure out what are the things that I keep and what are the things that I let a partner that I really know and trust run, that's a big part of my work, helping them sort that out.